Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and this is my 47th. Is it my 47th? It might be my 47th. No, this is my 49th. My 49th Saturday vlog. And we're going to be reviewing a couple things about the new update, the graphical update, which looks incredible. The nighttime effects are definitely amazing. I'm going to turn my light off so I can actually see. The brightness at night is still an issue. I noticed there was a lot of bloom using the old defaults, but look at this. You can actually see at night now. Like in any other video game. It's not like daylight, but you can see well enough to actually do something. Which is a marked improvement. So I know that there were a lot, there's some heartburn over the issues that the new update brings, like the fact that you can't claim rewards in your codex at the moment. Mindark says it's a known issue. I know they're going to eventually fix it. We'll just have to be patient. I mean, overall, I think that the whole patch update has been pretty successful, all things considered. Especially since, well, let's face it, I've seen far worse patch updates from other games. Blizzard! So we're in good shape. But the graphics are definitely tighter. I mean, you can see the details better, sharper. It's going to be better in the daylight, definitely. The codex, or the scanner images, are still the old ones. So that tells me that the models here are probably not the same base model. It might be specific to this format, or maybe there's a formatting issue, they can't do that. But the most humorous thing that's happened is this. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My Jeep glows in the fucking dark. It is pink and purple and amazing. What the frick is this? Oh my god. Even the seats glow. What the hell? I just want to like drive around in the magic glow machine. Look at the bloom. Like, this thing, seriously, like nuclear glow. It's hilarious. And that's the only one that does it that I've got. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Okay. So yeah, there are definitely some bugs. I mean, anytime you do a massive upgrade like this is system-wide. And I'm pretty sure all the Planet partners had to do with the upgrade too. So like, I need to go to Syrian and see what the graphics look like there now. Once the sun comes up, which may not come in this vlog, unfortunately, because apparently my timing is crap. We can take a look at everything else. Other things that happen. The share center is now the Entropia Exchange. Which makes sense because I'm pretty sure that Mindark wants to add more... no, I guess technically it would be classified as a REIT if it was a an actual investment, real estate investment trust, but it's shares of Crystal Palace. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Because I don't think the deeds area got changed at all. The codex is having its issue, but they'll fix it. And I know that they say don't lose your progress, so my assumption is that the rewards will be available again once they sort out what caused the break. And if it doesn't, well, that really sucks. But that's also kind of life. Oops. So yeah, that's a brief version 17 overview. Overall, I think it's going to be an improvement. There's a lot of little things that they have to kind of patch up, but we'll let them do their thing and get the job done. So, okay, let's kind of get into a heavier, more vlogish topic. I had to share that stuff with you because it was funny. Lately, I've noticed myself getting stuck in my head. You know, basic insecurities. I mean, it's the holidays. It's never my favorite time. Just dealing with not processing different aspects of life. And so I've been dealing with this issue of getting stuck in my head and not being able to figure things out. And oftentimes it can dominate my brain space for hours at a time. And I mean, that's not good. That's unhealthy. And you got to be able to focus on other things and do the things that are important to life. But sometimes you could be so stuck in your head that I mean, you could be doing all the things you have to do. But when you get stuck in your brains, in your head, when your headspace isn't where you need it to be, you can display things like antisocial behavior, or you can just become withdrawn, kind of isolate yourself, and none of these things are healthy. And so, for those of you who do suffer from that, I'm sure that a lot of us do. You know, especially if you're in the two youngest generations, the millennials and our children, the Gen Z, the Generation Z. I tend to call them the Zers, which, for better or for worse, may or may not be correct. But I've got 3 kids, so, well, we're a blended family, so 1 is biological and 2 stepchildren, but I don't make the differentiation except if I have to. So, but that kind of lays it out for you. But I have 3 kids, and so it's important to me that, you know, we kind of deal with the topics of mental health, and we recognize when things are going wrong. And sometimes I don't think any of us realize sometimes that we get stuck in our head over something until someone points out to us that we're stuck in our head, or until we're over it and realize, oh, I've been stuck in my head about this for like 6 hours. And so, and I mean, it doesn't mean that there's anything deeper to it, except that there's something on your mind that needs to be processed. And some of us are verbal processors, and some of us are non-verbal processors. You know, we just tend to overthink things. And I would encourage you to figure out what your best way of processing things are, because we're all different. Me, I tend to be a verbal processor, if you hadn't been able to tell. And I have people that I can talk to if I need to verbally process. And that's very important. Because of that, I have been able to deal with things much more healthily than I might have been able to otherwise. And so, however you need to process things, if you have these issues, you know, find a way to outlet them. You know, write, talk, record yourself and listen to it back and delete it if you don't want anyone listening to it. Have a confidant. Talk to your spouse. Talk to your loved one. You know, talk to a sibling. Talk to a parent. Talk to anyone. You know, if you don't feel comfortable talking with someone that's in family, then talk to your best friend. And guys, this goes for you especially, because we have a tendency to only rely upon our significant other. And that is not healthy. Have friends. Friends that you can talk to about heavy topics without judgment. Because you need people like that. You can't be relying only on one person. And you can't just let it bottle up inside you. These are... I think that's why we have such a high prevalence of suicide in our generations. And I know I'm getting super heavy here, and I'm sorry, but this has been on my mind. What the hell? Coolness? Okay, okay. Hold the phone. Coolness? Coolness. Oh, how well you perform under duress. Okay. So it's not like the fonts. Hey, cool. It's like poise. Okay. That makes so much more sense now. Thank you, Sweden. That's your poise. Oh, God. So anyway. The way we live life has pretty much been upended in the last 2 generations. You know, in the 15, 16 years ago, something like Entropia Universe would not have even been possible. Not, at least not in the way it was originally presented. I mean, yeah, you had Ultima Online, but let's face it, Ultima Online was not comparable to anything we have today. Which does not mean that I am ragging on Lord British or his team. They did a lot. And it was actually because of what they did that made MMOs a possibility. Because they did all of the groundwork for all MMOs. I'm pretty sure Ultima Online was the first MMORPG. But really? But the technology has come and it's accelerating. So in the show Star Trek, they had flat computer pads called a pad that they did work on and they took notes on. It was supposed to be like an electronic notebook. The cell phone has more power than what they conceived of for the computers in Star Trek. The cell phone. But because of that, we've become very technology dependent. And I think with that dependence, with that instant craving for knowledge all the time, we always have to be linked in. No, we always have to be wired. Not even wired. We have to always be on the grid. We always have to be on the grid or we feel like we're missing a limb. And that might be the reason that collectivism has really risen up. I'm not really going to touch on that too much, except from the psychological standpoint of or the philosophical standpoint of collectivist versus individualist societies. Because there's way too many political undertones, and you know how I like to avoid those if possible, with rare exceptions. But I do think that because of that, we are facing a higher prevalence for depression and a higher prevalence for mental illness. We're recognizing mental illness better, and that's good. Unfortunately, we also seem to have a higher percentage of it, and that's not good. And I mean, I don't have a solution for this. That's why there are people who do this professionally. I am certainly not that guy. But I think it's important that we recognize it and see when we are not feeling healthy in our headspace, we need to be able to talk to people. You know, Find a therapist, or... Yeah, it's still completely broke. For a minute there, I wanted to check to see if it just, you know, lost the other ones. Find a therapist. Talk to your best friend. Talk to your spouse. But don't just rely on your spouse. Have other people you can talk to. And really take it in. Allow yourself that vulnerability so that you can work through it before it becomes a major problem. Because you're really not being vulnerable. You're being vulnerable to another person, but you're actually donning armor so that you can fight the thing in your head. Because these emotions, these thoughts, when you overthink things, when it becomes, you know, doubts or concerns or the worrying, they become dragons. And if you don't slay the dragons when they're small, they will become big. And once they become big, they become much harder to defeat. And so how do you defeat these dragons? You have to talk about them. You have to, the first way of fixing a problem is to admit that you have one. And so you have to be willing to admit to yourself that you have these dragons in your head, the brain weasels. I call them the brain weasels in one of my McBain moments. You know, after you're done this video, go watch that one. You know, brain weasels turn into dragons if they're not kept in check and not put into line and all meant to go the same way. Or at the very least, they help the dragons. And you got to put those dragons down while they're small, man. It's serious shit. You can't be just letting them grow inside your head space, because they'll take over. And then disaster strikes. You know, it's amazing. We are 3 pounds of fat and electrons, or electrodes, wires, piloting a meat suit. What are you doing? But it's more than that, because that 3 pounds is the most complex thing on Earth. I'm trying to make anyone a disciple. Seriously, the human brain is the most complex object on the planet that we know of. Sorry, I had to respond to that. Well, okay, frankly, I'm not sorry I had to respond to that, but my apologies for being silent for a moment. I had to respond to that. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. So, okay, you've got dragons, and you know you have to slay them. And so, well, how do you slay them? You have to talk about them. You have to weaken them, and you weaken them by talking about them, and you process through them. And the processing is the metaphorical sword. And so as you process through it, you're hacking away at the size of this dragon by talking to people and processing through all of the things that go with this dragon. And it's a technique that's used by psychologists. And I'm not a psychologist, but I've mentioned before I took advanced psychology classes in undergraduate school, so I know I'm not a clinician or anything like that, but I have an idea of how things are done. And like in people who have PTSD, the best way to solve PTSD is to make them relive it. And so, well, with most issues, you don't have to necessarily relive anything. You're stuck in your head about something, and so by revisiting the situation over and over and over again, you can slowly process through what's going on. And again, this doesn't necessarily, for those of you who need professional help, this does not replace professional help. Get professional help if you think you need it. Because there's no better money spent than on making sure your mental health is in good shape. And I know a lot of people can't afford that, which is why you need to have people you can rely on and talk to. That is a global. Ooh. Neo Scion 20. Am I currently wearing one of those? Mind Force. No, I'm using a Neo Scion 10. I've got another Neo Scion 20. Oh, wait a second. This one's unlimited. Oh, that's a 10B. Okay. Oh, that's very nice. Yes, indeedy do. Okay. I like. Sorry, distracted there. So, okay. I know, we got really heavy tonight, but it's something that's been on my mind that we really need to kind of handle as a culture, and I don't think that we necessarily handle it very well. Because I don't think we look at it realistically. And so I think that's something that we really need to consciously think about. And just we need to consciously think about it and figure out ways to cope with and handle the stresses that create the mental illnesses that we have to contend with. And because the human brain is the most complex device on the planet, we don't understand enough of it. Like, we understand very little about the human brain. Precious little. Both from a physical standpoint and from a mental standpoint. And you can ask any psychologist, psychiatrist, or biologist, what percentage of knowledge do we have of the human brain? And they're probably going to cite some ridiculously low number, like 3%. And that's entirely possible. It's probably closer to 10 or 20. But we don't understand exactly how complex the human brain is. Like, we can't even get a grasp on the complexity, let alone know everything about it. We don't even know what we don't know about the human brain. And they're in our own heads. And so yeah. Okay, I'm gonna head back to base. It actually felt really good to talk about that. And I hope that anyone watching, I hope that it helps you, if you're dealing with things, to kind of, look at it from another perspective and say, okay, maybe this is something I need to talk about. Let's go find someone that knows me well to talk to about it. So, I want to see what the screen looks like. Oof. Because I know that... Here we go. That's a much better... That's actually a pretty good rendition of Calypso. I mean, it's not perfect, but you can tell it's Eudora. So, okay. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. As always, I really appreciate the support. You all have a wonderful day.